Boom. All right, what's up, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about two hypergrowth stocks that I believe are looking poised for a breakout. Those two stocks, as you already know, are Canaan and Vuzix. There are a multitude of fundamental and technical reasons that I believe these two are looking like they want to see some very impressive upside over the remainder of the month. So obviously, I want to share those with you guys. Today, we will be jumping into the charts, talking technicals, talking some price targets on these two names. I want to let you guys know how I see the rest of this month playing out. And obviously, I have some very impressive upside targets that I want to share and rationalize for you guys. Okay, so we will jump into the charts, but of course, we do have to go over the fundamentals that have kicked off some upside momentum in these two stocks. As you can see, Canaan closing the trading day. It is Thursday, March 3rd at the time of recording. Canaan up 15.5% today. Vuzix up 5% today, while ARK Invest, which is pretty much the hypergrowth ETF of Miss Cathy Woods, sorry Cathy, but down 6% today. Riot, Mara, Bitcoin miners. Canaan is a Bitcoin miner manufacturer pretty much, and the fact that it saw such impressive upside today, same as VUZI, while so many other hypergrowth sectors across the market saw significant downside, is just in my mind right up off the bat. And I mean, it doesn't take much speculation to realize this, but that's a very, very good sign, and definitely speaks to the momentum that these are seeing from both a fundamental and technical perspective once again. Okay, so we will jump into these on the charts. The reason for Canaan moving higher today is because of some blockbuster earnings. So we will be taking a look over the earnings call that Canaan just had this morning, go over the report, go over some of the key metrics there, because these numbers are bonkers. So we'll take a look at this, and then Vuzix. The reason Vuzix was seeing some upside today is because their board of directors approved a $25 million share buyback program. So we'll keep this short and sweet, you guys. Let's get down to business. But before we do, please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Join the Waves fam. Let me know in the comments down below what your single favorite hypergrowth stock is in the market right now. If it's either of these, cheers to that, because they're doing very well right now. But always interested to see what you guys have to recommend. So I'll see you in the comments down below. And give the video a like, because I greatly appreciate it. So that's that, you guys. Again, we will talk price targets for both these bad boys, but first let's go over the fundamentals. So we'll read over this, jump into the charts, talk Canaan, talk some price targets, and then read over this, and then we'll close it out with VUZI on the charts. All right. So again, Canaan exploding higher on earnings. So what? Canaan's Q4 and full year numbers took many investors by surprise. Net revenue for the quarter increased by more than 5,700%. 5,700%. Those are staggering. That's a staggering metric, you guys. With gross profit of $233 million, blowing away last year's profit of $1.4 million. Now, keep in mind, you guys, this is a Chinese company, and these numbers are almost unbelievable. We've seen this happen in the past with companies like Luckin Coffee. So take these numbers with a grain of salt. But if these are, even if these are half true, they're honestly still extremely impressive. Okay, so for the full year, these numbers were equally impressive. The company reported net revenue of $783 million compared to $70 million for 2020, and net income came in at $314 million compared to a loss of $34 million in the prior year. Much of this growth was the result of an increase in total computing power sold. The company sold 7.7 million terahashes per second of computing power, up 15% year over year. Additionally, the company's AI segment and other businesses experienced strong growth. So again, you guys, take some of these numbers, because these are truly staggering year over year metrics, with a grain of salt. Go do some digger deeping if you please. Because again, this is a Chinese company. This has a small cap Chinese company, I should say, and there has been innocent until proven guilty. So I'm not going to accuse them of anything, but just be aware that this has happened with certain Chinese companies in the past. So just understand that as well. Regardless, those metrics are insane. Canaan, I do want to show you guys this. Move my fat head quick. Well, way over there. I'll be back. But Canaan is currently, at least the U.S. shares, market cap of $923 million and trading. This is the kicker right here, at a PE ratio, even after today's 15% move up, a price to earnings ratio I'll move me back. I'm way off screen. A price to earnings ratio of 9.7. So keep in mind, you guys, a 9.7 is staggeringly low for a company that's in a hyper growth sector like Canaan. And I mean, one that's printing and profiting as hard as they are. Okay, so historically average PE ratio, the historic average PE ratio for the S&P 500, which is objectively a bunch of boring, like, mega caps, right, is 15 to 20. Okay, that's the historical average. And right now we're at like 25. So the fact that, once again, Bitcoin miner, like, when there's a gold rush, you don't mine. I mean, although I do like Riot Blockchain and Marathon Digital, obviously, but the old saying is, when there's a gold rush, you don't want to mine for the gold, right? You want to sell the shovels, and that's what Canaan's doing. They're literally selling the equivalent in this analogy to the shovels by selling the ASICs and selling the Bitcoin miners to mine that Bitcoin. Okay, so Canaan, again, in a hyper growth subsector of the market. Bitcoin mining manufacturer is super niche, and obviously that's if you believe Bitcoin's going to go up over the long run, then the demand for Bitcoin miners and ASICs are only going to go up as well. Okay, so that's the fundamental rationale for Canaan. And again, over the past month, it's staggering. Let's just zoom out quickly to show you guys all these numbers are crazy. So Canaan, back around this time last year, just almost a year ago, reached its all-time high at almost $40. Okay, this is obviously a bubble right here. Since then, from that high to the low we saw just at the beginning of February, that was a retracement of 90%, from $40 to about $3.50. So that was over a 90% correction, just absolute crash from the bubbles to that high. But right now, we're still at, even if we move this up to where we are, even after today's big move up, we're still about 85% down from that all-time high of $40 when we're at $625 now. Okay, so still significantly below, like way below all-time highs. And do I believe we will achieve those all-time highs? Once again, even by late this year, I do not. Maybe in the case that Bitcoin sees $100,000, we could see another run up like that. But the macroeconomic environment with rates raising and less liquidity being injected into the markets, less helicopter money, stimmy checks, etc., it's very unlikely that we see these all-time highs. And if I'm being honest, any of these names. But can we see a nice bounce? Can we see some upside? Can we see a slow, steady, organic rally, which is what's healthy and what I actually like to see as a trader? I absolutely believe so. After these numbers, given that these numbers are legit. So Canaan looks very poised for some upside right now. I mean, obviously, you can see that it is in a short-term downtrend from the bottom we saw earlier this month. I didn't want to do that. Okay, so again, the bottom here at the end of January, Canaan is currently in this uptrend right here. And if we come up to test the line, the technical line of resistance on this uptrend, that would take us, my first target is just going to be right here. Which is around $7, psychological even. I think we'll have no issue getting to $7, if I'm being completely honest, over the next session or two. But I do think that by the middle of this month, or March 22nd, because this is a level that has acted as historical resistance for Canaan in the past. You can see a nice head and shoulders pattern, finding the peaks of both those shoulders right here back in November of this year. So not even the high that we saw in November, but again, following these earnings, their growth metrics are insane. They're year over year. I mean, those numbers are bonkers. I'll keep saying that because I don't even say that word, but they are bonkers. I mean, it's crazy, you guys. And this company's stupid profitable. So, Hail Mary right here, 20 days from now, like 3 weeks from the time you guys were watching this video, 2 to 3 weeks. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a $9 Canaan, and hey, maybe we can go even higher than that. But I do think we can see a $9 to $10 Canaan by month's end. Keep in mind that's optimistic, but all the reasons we're talking about right now give me a reason. I feel you can justify that hyper bullish sentiment. Okay, so that's Canaan. Let's move on to VUZI, and we'll cover this. We'll read over a few short paragraphs here, and then I'll talk to you guys about the price target I have for VUZI, which is also seeing a stark correction. So let's read over this, and we'll dive into the charts. Okay, Vuzix, a leading supplier of smart glasses and augmented reality. Keep in mind, you guys, this is kind of a metaverse play. And AR technology and products today announced that its board of directors approved a $25 million share buyback program, which expires on March 2nd, 2023. Under the share buyback program, shares of the company's common stock may be repurchased periodically in open market or privately negotiated transactions. Okay, so if a company wants to buy back their shares. I was just talking about this in yesterday's private episode of Waves Weekly. By the way, you guys, these were the two stocks we focused on yesterday. This is from the newsletter this morning, but if you watched yesterday's midweek recap video, again, you guys, this is the private video for the newsletter group that I do post on Wednesdays. These were the two stocks that we dove deep on, and they're the two only hypergrowths in the green today. Okay, so little plug time right now, you guys. If you want the newsletter, if you want the midweek recap, which is also in the Discord channel, okay, you also get the link to the midweek recap if you join the Waves exclusive Discord channel. This is only $10 a month, but that link's down below. First two links down below are for the Discord, which again is $10 a month. And this bad boy, my complete portfolio, a complete breakdown of my entire portfolio, which I do update every single trading day during market hours, and then send out the newsletter, letting you guys know what I think is important to know that day in the markets from a macro perspective to an internal portfolio perspective, what I believe is relevant and appropriate to share with the Waves fam. I talk about in here. So that is $15 a month or $40 for every 3 months. Completely up to you, but it's greatly appreciated if you guys check that out. Really do my best to make that worth your money, and I truly do believe it is. So it means a lot if you guys check that out. Once again, first links down in the description box below. But if not, no worries at all. Appreciate you watching right here, right now. And again, you guys, if Vuzix, if their board of directors, if their team wants to buy back shares, that shows belief in themselves. Okay, Vuzix just announced earnings. Their EPS, which is earnings per share, was pretty staggeringly, was a staggering loss. Okay, so they absolutely scuffed it on their EPS, on their earnings per share, but their revenue was up. Their forward-looking statements, which is really what matters, is how you think you're going to perform this coming year over the remainder of 2022, going into 23, 24, 25. That's what really matters, because the stock market ultimately, especially hyper-growth sectors, this is a futures market, okay? So you're betting on the future potential growth of these companies, and the growth metrics for VUZI are looking very impressive, although they are reporting a pretty staggering loss, okay? Regardless, the fact that they want to buy back shares is very bullish. Again, it shows the belief in themselves. And hey, maybe they know something that we don't know that could lead to some very, very significant appreciation of the share price. A lot of you guys know, if you've been part of the newsletter, if you've been watching me talk about VUZI for a while, I think that VUZI is a prime candidate for acquisition. They hold so many patents in the augmented reality glasses space. So say Facebook, say Facebook, Meta wants to acquire them, wants some of their talent, wants some of their technology. Say Apple wants to acquire them. That's huge news. Okay, so considering VUZI has been so torn down, it has a market cap of only $360 million, and it's in such a hyper evolving space. I think that VUZI personally is an amazing candidate for acquisition, which is where a large company buys them out and takes them over, okay? And if that's the case, we're going to see a share price way higher than $32, okay? So regardless, let's talk about where I think this thing could go over the course of the month. I do think that at some point, VUZI just has to test this very, very obvious trend line. And on top of this, you guys, I do really like to see the volume we're seeing. So the volume that we've been seeing in VUZI, volume is at 2.1 million, but an average volume is at 2 million. So a boost in volume following range trading. I've been saying this a bunch, you guys, but it increase in volume followed by sideways trading over an extended period of time. So VUZI is at the same price that it was in over a month ago now. So we've been virtually trading sideways for the past month or so, seeing an increase in volume. That's usually a very, very good sign that the bottom is in, and we're going to see a macro reversal to the upside. Okay, so I do think that at some point, just white line right here, obvious line of resistance that's visible to any person with eyes. Boom, touch point here, all-time high. Next touch point here on the November bounce, that little fake out bounce that we all got excited about and profited heavily on, and then lost all the money in call options. But bounce up to $16, creating the line of resistance on the overall downtrend. And now VUZI's at $6. I mean, I think this stock is a steal, if I'm being honest, from a long-term perspective. I think at the very least we will test this long-term line of resistance. I mean, even short-term, if you look at VUZI, I mean, series of higher highs and higher lows. This thing, again, showing strength in the wake of everything else across the entire market. Seeing such heavy weakness is so bullish to me. And I do think that if we test, I mean, little previous low right here where we flattened out, or where we floor, this little ceiling, previous support tested as new resistance before really selling off big. I do think that this could come into play, and this does intersect with the long-term line of resistance. Again, this white line right here on March 10th. So this is bullish, this is optimistic, but if we see a move up to $8.30, where these two intersect, that would equate to, from where we're at right now, just under a 40% move up in share price from $6. And I do think that if we can break this line of resistance, it's going to be a very, very quick jump up to this very strong ceiling. It's acted as a ceiling floor in the past. Again, a ceiling. Again, previous floors, new ceilings, vice versa. You guys get what I'm saying? But strong support, strong resistance right here. If we're able to break this long-term resistance, that would constitute a technical breakout and a macro breakout and macro reversal as well. That would, I mean, I think if we do see that, if we do see a daily closure, even a 4-hour closure above this white line right here, which would be above about $8.20 over the next week or so, that would constitute once again a technical breakout. And I do think we'll see a very, very quick move up to about $9.70. And if we can break $10, if we can break the psychological even of $10, I think it's off to the races, and I think VUZI could see its next bull market. Now, obviously, if it gets acquired, it's going to go freaking ballistic. Okay, so again, you guys, there's a lot of speculation involved here, but there's a lot of tangible evidence that these stocks should at least deserve to move higher from a rational perspective. But hey, the markets are irrational. I mean, Coinbase was down freaking 9% today. That makes no sense. That's like it's so stupidly profitable and trading at a PE ratio of 10 as well. So I don't know what's going on. It's irrational to try to make rational sense of this market, so just keep that in mind, you guys. But I do think that these two, especially in the wake of showing strength while everything else is just bleeding out, is awesome, and I'm very excited to hopefully print off of the calls and all the shares that I picked up of these two over the past couple of days. Okay, so again, if you want to know exactly how I'm trading these on a day-to-day basis, if you want updates on all of our favorite names, Bitcoin every day, S&P 500, Monasan, Render, just check this out, you guys. Again, I do my best to make it very worth it, and I do believe it is. So that link's down below as well. That link's down below once again. The Discord link is down below as well. And again, let me know in the comments down below what your favorite stock or stocks is in the market right now. Okay, so I'll catch you guys downstairs in the comments. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.